just kind of hung out there and yeah.
Lord, thank you for bringing us here this evening with our healthy mind, bodies, and souls. Thank you for giving us this wonderful community and the responsibility to help make it the best it could possibly be. Give us the strength of listening, give us the strength of understanding, and the courage and the determination and compassion to really help the entire community move forward in your name. God, thank you for it. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ben, can you call the roll, please? Member Wolf. Present. Member Fonte.
Here.
President Peters.
Here.
Here. Member Folk.
Here.
Member Waring.
Here.
Member Streit.
Here.
Member Shredder.
Here.
7 present. All right, thank you, sir. For your consideration, need a motion and a second to approve as presented. Committee of the Whole minutes, February 3rd, 2020. Special council minutes, February 3rd, 2020. And council minutes, February 10, 2020.
Motion to approve as presented. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, this time, recognition of visitors. If you wish to address council, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. A friendly reminder, we have a 5-minute time limit.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Bluelaw. I live at 256 Glenwood Southwest, so Ward 4. I'm here to encourage the council to create a tree commission to better take care of our trees that are on city property, so they're considered urban tree forests. And you each have a presentation I put together. Since I only have 5 minutes, I'm going to have to go through it real quick. And I also drafted a tree ordinance that I'd like you to consider. And I can talk about that. I'll talk about that more. But so in this presentation that you have, it talks about the value of urban trees. It talks about what a tree commission is, a tree ordinance, which creates the tree commission, the benefits and costs of having a tree ordinance and a tree commission, and then a program called Tree City USA, which is run by the Arbor Day Foundation. Okay, so the value of trees. The city trees are on city property is really an infrastructure, just like the buildings that the city owns. And the difference is they actually increase in value as they get older, unlike buildings. And some of the value that trees give back to the city is there's health benefits with having more trees. There's community benefits. It creates more of a community. There's environmental benefits. And there's financial benefits. And then it also leaves something for the next generation. So then I go on to talk about some of those specific benefits. There's studies showing that trees help lower stress around people in neighborhoods. It reduces crime. It also just enhances the beauty of the communities. And then continuing on, there's also environmental benefits for trees. Trees, they help wildlife, birds, and so on. They help mitigate the effects of climate change. They clean the water in our water table, and they clean the air that we breathe. And then some of the other economic values are trees help property values. Even the trees on the city line next to your property, it can help benefit the value of your property, the city trees can. And then there's all kinds of other benefits like reduced air conditioning costs because of the shade they provide. And there's different studies to try to calculate the actual financial benefit, but one of the studies showed that after 40 years, 100 trees, after you've taken all the costs of like taking care of the tree, planting the tree, and removing the tree when it dies, the total benefit of those 100 trees over 40 years is $72,000. Okay, so then a tree commission is a group of volunteer citizens that just coordinate the city trees. They create a plan for management of trees, planting the trees, maintaining the trees, and then getting rid of dead trees. They work with the city council and they work with the parks department, because right now the parks department manages all the trees, but they do a lot more than just trees. So this commission would just be dedicated to managing the trees that are on city property. And then the tree ordinance, which again you have a draft of, which I put together from a number of sources, including the city of Louisville, which I think is pretty similar to North Canton. They have a very successful tree ordinance and a tree commission. So I modeled a lot of it off of that. But also the Ohio Department of Agriculture Forestry Department has an urban tree program, and I got a lot of information from them as well. They provide a course on urban trees that I'm in the process of taking. And so putting all that together, I drafted that tree ordinance that you have, and I'd like you to consider. And then the next section is about the benefits and costs of trees. There was another study. It's recommended that a city our size spends about $2 per person per year on trees. And so doing that, I did some calculation of what that would benefit. And that's not new money. We probably already spend $2 per person on trees in our parks department, but it's just, dedicating it to trees. And then in the last few seconds, the last section is talking about this Tree City USA, which is a program run by the Arbor Day Foundation. And there's many Tree City USAs around here, including Louisville, Greene, Canton, and a number of others. And so I think North Canton should also be one of them. So I have my contact information there. I've been working with my council member, Dominic Fonte, and we're available for any questions you might have later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Did everyone get a copy? Okay. Anyone else? Rita?
My name is Rita Palmer. I live at 307 Fairview Street, Southeast, North Canton. I'm here tonight to deliver a speech written by my husband in his own voice. I've offered to do so because this issue should not be dismissed as part of a petty feud, but as an issue of chicanery and sleight of hand that should not be used in North Canton or any city's government and should not be allowed to continue. I quote, I speak, as my husband, to you tonight regarding what I believe is unprofessional and unethical conduct on the part of North Canton's law director when he manipulates the delayed delivery feature of email. What Mr. Fox has been doing for several years when it suits his desires is to send certain emails as delayed delivery, which generates a sent receipt for himself. Mr. Fox then rescinds delivery of the email. When questions arise later, Mr. Fox produces a sent receipt for the unreceived email. The surreptitious sending of emails in this manner by North Canton Law Director Tim Fox is grossly unprofessional and unethical. Mr. Fox revealed his manipulations of email to North Canton's former council clerk some years ago. I only learned about this last year from the former clerk when I shared with her my difficulties in getting the city to comply with my request for public records. The occasion of the revelation by Mr. Fox to the former clerk occurred some years ago when my attorneys had a meeting with the law director at City Hall. My attorneys had expected documents from Mr. Fox prior to that meeting, but had never received them. At that meeting, Mr. Fox pulled out an email receipt purporting to show that he had emailed the requested documents to my attorneys several days before the scheduled meeting. The former clerk shared with me that when Mr. Fox concluded that meeting with me and my attorneys and returned to the council office, he was nearly giddy with exuberance. Mr. Fox was so thrilled with his deception that after telling her what he had orchestrated, he even went so far as to demonstrate how it can be done. The former clerk was uneasy with what she learned that day and reported the questionable conduct to the then president of City Council. With this newfound knowledge of the actions of the law director, I then understood why I had not received certain public records from the city in the spring and early summer of 2019. In June 2019, I filed a complaint with the Ohio Court of Claims to force the city to provide me with many public records that had not been provided for weeks, and in some cases for months. This led to a telephone mediation conference. In the midst of that July 30th teleconference with the court mediator, Mr. Fox stopped the mediation discussion and offered to email one of the public records currently under discussion. However, the email he sent was never received during the remaining time of the mediation conference, nor did I receive it ever. Days later, in the records provided by Mr. Fox to me via my attorney, it's interesting to note that included was an email receipt purporting to show that Mr. Fox had indeed sent an email during the mediation hearing. This is but one example of an email that Mr. Fox proclaimed he sent to me, but like many others, I ultimately never received. How is it that Mr. Fox was able to generate that email receipt time stamped during a court mediation hearing, and then include that sent receipt in records later sent to my attorney? Law Director Fox answered that question years earlier when he revealed his deceitful email manipulations to the city's former council clerk. Having never forgotten the revelation of North Canton's law director to her years earlier, the former clerk shared with me what Mr. Fox had told her and demonstrated to her. Similarly alarmed as North Canton's council clerk was years earlier, I filed a complaint to the Stark County Bar Association last fall over what I believe are highly unprofessional actions by the law director. North Canton's former clerk of council, city council president, and my attorney are listed as witnesses for this complaint. Yet they were not interviewed by the bar's grievance committee. Instead, the Bar Association ignored my complaint, choosing to view my concerns not in terms of the actions of Attorney Fox, but on the basis of a citizen who did not receive requested public records in a timely fashion.
Mrs. Palmer, can you wrap it up?
I certainly will. Unfortunately, the authorities did not feel obligated to interview witnesses or sift through the evidence. Members of City Council and Mayor Wilder, are you comfortable knowing that our city law director is capable of this
Palmer,
kind of...
we get the idea of it.
Okay, and I would ask that North Canton's citizens deserve better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Should leave off. Where did you leave off?
I was just right here.
Okay, I'll finish it.
Hi, I'm Michelle for 72 Hillcrest Avenue Northwest. I'm going to finish what Rita was reading. Unfortunately, the authorities did not feel obligated to interview witnesses and sift through the evidence before ruling on this complaint. Members of City Council and Mayor Wilder, are you comfortable knowing that our city law director is capable of this kind of unethical and unprofessional behavior when working with court mediators, attorneys, and everyday citizens? Don't North Canton citizens deserve better? Thank you, Chuck Osborne.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Larry? Good. Okay, moving on to old business, and I have a motion and a second to read by title only, second reading, ordinance 7-20.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Tim?
An ordinance authorizing the appropriation of funds of the city.
An ordinance authorizing the appropriation of funds of the city of North Canton to be appropriated from the unappropriated resources of the general fund and insurance fund for current expenses during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2020.
Chairwoman Myers.
We talked about this and had a really good explanation a couple weeks ago. Different funds going to police permits, economic development, engineering, administration, and general government. Are there any other questions or concerns? Carol?
Yes. If there are no objections, could we amend this to include emergency clause and dispense with it this evening?
Sounds good.
Okay, and I will make that motion if there are no other objections or questions.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. It is amended to include insurance or emergency clause.
Okay. If we can need a motion then to adopt ordinance number 7-2020 as amended.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Have a motion and a second to suspend rules, council. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, a motion and a second to approve under suspension of the rules.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Zero. Okay, reports. Deputy Director of Administration.
No report.
Director of Administration.
couple quick things. We've had 3 bid openings since we were here last. And back on Valentine's Day, we opened the Plainview reconstruction bids. That one we had allocated, and that was a little heavy than I thought at the time. I said we had allocated $600,000. Our low bid was a little over $315,000 from Superior Paving and Material Savings. So savings there. Also that day, we opened the Northfield Sanitary Sewer Replacement Project. That one we're a little closer on. We had allocated $750,000. Wanger Excavating was our low bidder at a little over $745,000, so we were right there. And lastly, last Friday, we opened the 2020 street paving bids. There we had allocated $350,000, and with the alternate for the Mr. Manhole adjustment method, we were about $329,000, again from Superior Paving. And that's the one we had a lot of debate on the streets in the sanctuary. Superior was out front on Apple Grove, and we got a great price. I think that kind of paid off.
That's great.
On the board control meeting tomorrow, or make a little more detailed presentation, and we expect all 3 will be able.
Outstanding, thank you, Rob. Any questions for Rob? All right, good stuff. Member Volt, oh, sorry, Tim. Director Volt. No report. Member Volt. No report. Member Fonte.
Joe, thanks for putting effort into it. I'm open for anything that's beautification for the city. There's other members that aren't probably there yet, so you might have to just talk to them and convince them how good the plan it is and how it saves on trash pickup and things like that. So thanks for your effort. That's all.
I'll echo his comments, Joe. Good stuff. This is good information, and the draft ordinance is something we'll have our law director look at. We'll be reaching out to you, so thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, just piggyback. Thanks for your work on this. I know Canton Tree City very involved with that. Different levels of the Canton Park and Rec system there. So I think it would be worthwhile for our residents to look at this. It's all how you approach it, I think, and how open-minded you are with the residents, because unfortunately we haven't had a real tree ordinance out there for years that addresses some of these concerns. But it's an educational tool too. Obviously, you just want people to know that you just can't plant any tree in the AP easement areas, because they end up getting hacked and cut back every year, and it's even uglier. You should just cut the tree down and plant a tree the right way. And that might be somebody's front yard versus the devil's circle, call it a monster, between the sidewalk and the curb. So all that needs to be looked at here, and I haven't had a chance to read it since you guys stuff, but thank you for your efforts. We'll move forward with this, I'm sure, to some degree.
Member Ware.
Just the same thing as Todd. Thanks for presenting. We love the colors and the information, and it's so clear and concise, and I just have to read it. But I was in Canton myself and loved my neighborhood because of all the trees, and really valued that. So thank you.
Member Troy.
Yes, thank you, Joe. I echo the same thing, and I look forward to reading more about this. Thank you, Rita and Brandeis, and everybody for coming. I have noticed that there's a lot of polling location comments going around in the community, so make sure that you check your registration. There's at least 2 changes, so just wanted to bring that up.
Member Stroud.
Thanks for everyone again. No report.
Okay, looking at the March meeting schedule, I need motion and a second. We're going to, let me do 2 of these. Let's how about a motion and a second to cancel the March 30th committee of the whole 5th Monday.
Motion?
Yeah, I need a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then I want to move the committee of the whole March 16th into the 23rd. That is the week this venue is being rented. We got a couple options, but talking to the Director of Administration, he has no issues with us moving, as far as legislative requests, moving it to the 23rd if needed. So I need a motion and a second for that.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, this executive session, there's 2 items for discussion. discussion, I'm going to need a separate motion and roll call vote for each one. So I need a motion and a second. Move into executive session for the purpose of considering the purchase of property for public purposes. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I'm sorry. Pat, roll call that for me, please.
Revolt,
Yes.
Fonte,
Abstain.
Peters,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Stroya,
Yes.
Surratt.
Yes.
6 for, 0 against, 1 abstaining.
Thank you. And then a motion and a second to discuss then the appointment, employment, or compensation of a public employee.
So moved.
Second.
Ben?
Revolt,
Yes.
Fonte,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Stroya,
Yes.
Surratt,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
7-4.
All right. The executive session will not be open to the public, and we are in executive session. Be downstairs, everybody downstairs. We'll come back and get Member Fonte.
Easy over here.
Right. Can I have a motion and a second to adjourn the executive session? So moved. 8:15 p.m. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let the record reflect Member Fonte joined us for the second piece, and also let the record reflect the action was taken. Final call to council for new business. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. I'd like to call to order the special committee of the whole meeting, Monday, February 24th, 8:16 p.m. Ben, will you please call the roll?
Revolt,
Here.
Fonte,
Here.
Peters,
Here.
Holt,
Here.
Waring,
Here.
Stroya,
Here.
Surratt.
Here.
7 present.
All right, thank you. First and only up, Community Economic Development, Chairman Revolt.
Thank you, sir. We have 3 items for our consideration this evening. Last week, Tuesday, February 18th, at City Hall at 9 a.m., the Housing Council met and reviewed the only two, Community Reinvestment Area Tax Incentive Agreements, which the city has. We have item A, which is the agreement for residential property at 331 Harmon Street. That property was found to be in compliance with the ordinance, and the Housing Council recommended its continuation. And I would propose that legislation reflect that. Are there any questions? It's routine. And the Housing Council also considered the tax incentive agreement for 1303, 1305 North Main Street, Northridge, as we all know. It was found to be in compliance with the legal agreement and the ordinance. And the Housing Council recommended that that also be approved as well. And both of those were unanimous. Are there any questions? So we'll have legislation for that one as well.
Yes.
The third item is we have 2 parts, and we actually, what we'd like to do, or what I'm proposing, are 2 pieces of legislation. The first will be to authorize the administration to negotiate for the acquisition of real property for a public purpose. I don't need a motion for that, I just need a majority to acknowledge that we can have legislation. I have seen bobbing heads, which is a yes. Are there any questions or comments about that at this time? Very good. And then the second is we'll also need legislation to authorize the administration and the Director of Finance to secure funding for the acquisition of public property up to and not to exceed $2.9 million. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, I would assume there is a majority of council who would authorize legislation to go forward. Very good. Mr. President, that concludes this committee's work.
All right, good work. Thank you, Darrell. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Adjourn.
You can have it. Take a long and study it.
Yeah. All right. No, she was the one that was just. Yeah.